Are you really engaged in your faith, or just going through the motions?
You walk in, sit in your usual spot, sing the songs, listen to the sermon, shake a few hands, walk out. And by Monday, you can barely remember what the message was about. You've been doing this for years. Same routine, same seat, same people. And if you're honest, you're not growing, you're not connecting, you're not changing. You're attending church the way people go to the gym on New Year's Day, present but not engaged. And here's the hard truth. Your church isn't the problem. You are. In the next 10 minutes, I'm showing you 5 shifts that will transform you from a spectator to a participant. And I'm warning you now, if you make these changes, your church experience will never be the same, because you can't encounter God on autopilot. Shift number 1, you rush in right as worship starts, maybe even a few minutes late. You tell yourself it's because mornings are hard, traffic was bad, kids took forever. But here's what's really happening. You're treating church like a movie theater, trying to catch the show without investing in the experience. And by arriving late, you're guaranteeing you'll stay disconnected. Acts 2, verse 46 describes the early church this way. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts. Notice what they did. They ate together, spent time together, created space for actual relationship, not just attendance. When you arrive at the last second, you miss the most important part. The before, the conversations in the lobby, the chance to check in with someone who's struggling, the opportunity to pray with someone before service starts. You're skipping the relational foundation that makes everything else meaningful. And here's the shift. Start arriving 15 minutes early, not for yourself, for others. Walk in looking for the person sitting alone, the visitor who doesn't know anyone, the single parent trying to manage kids. Your church doesn't need more consumers who show up demanding to be fed. It needs contributors who show up ready to serve. Hebrews 10 verse 24 says, "Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds." You can't spur anyone if you're not there. Shift number 2, you sit in the same section every week, surrounded by the same people, and you convince yourself that's community. It's not. It's a holy huddle. You've created a Christian clique and called it fellowship. Meanwhile, there are people 3 rows behind you who've been attending for months, and nobody knows their name. James 2 verse 1 through 4 addresses this directly. My brothers and sisters, believers in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ, must not show favoritism. If you show favoritism, you sin. Every time you walk past someone new to get to your regular group, you're showing favoritism. You're valuing comfort over commission. Here's the shift. Every week, sit in a different section, intentionally, and before the service starts, turn around. Introduce yourself to someone you've never met. Ask their name. Ask how long they've been coming. Ask if they need prayer. This sounds simple, but it's revolutionary, because most people attend church for years without a single person initiating with them. They show up, they leave, and they wonder why they don't feel connected. Romans 12 verse 10 says, "Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves." You can't be devoted to people you never meet. Stop protecting your comfort zone and start building the kingdom, one introduction at a time. Shift number 3. You wait to be asked before you serve. There's a need. You see it. But you think someone else will handle it, someone more qualified, someone on staff, someone who signed up. So you wait, and the need stays unmet. 1 Corinthians 12, verse 12 says, "Just as a body, though one has many parts, but all its many parts form one body, so it is with Christ." You are a part, not a spectator. And every part has a function. When you wait to be asked, you're treating church like an organization that employs you instead of a body you belong to. Here's the shift. Stop waiting for permission. Start looking for needs. Someone struggling to carry chairs. Help them. Someone setting up kids ministry alone. Join them. Someone new with questions. Answer them. Matthew 20, verse 28 says, "The Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve." If Jesus served without being asked, you don't get to wait for an invitation. Here's what happens when you shift from consumer to contributor. Your church stops feeling like an event and starts feeling like a family. Because family doesn't wait to be asked. Family sees need and responds. And when you serve without recognition, without thanks, without title, you're operating in kingdom culture, not religious performance. Shift number 4. You come alone, leave alone, and wonder why you don't feel connected. You treat Sunday morning like a solo experience. Drive yourself. Sit by yourself if your regular people aren't there. Leave the moment the service ends. And you're missing the entire point. Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9 through 10 says, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. You're designed for community, and community requires intentionality. Here's the shift. Bring someone with you every single week. A coworker who doesn't attend anywhere, a neighbor who's been curious, a friend who's going through hard times. Stop going to church to get your needs met. Start going to meet someone else's. And here's what makes this powerful. When you bring people, you can't stay on autopilot. You're responsible for their experience. You introduce them, you sit with them, you follow up afterward. And in the process of helping them connect, you connect deeper yourself. Luke 14 verse 23 says, "Go out to the roads and country lanes and compel them to come in, so that my house will be full." Compel doesn't mean beg, it means care enough to invite. How many people are one invitation away from encountering Jesus? And you're going alone every week. Shift number 5. Monday morning comes, and you've already forgotten what Sunday's message was about. The sermon moved you in the moment. You even took notes, but you never looked at them again, never applied a single thing. And by the time next Sunday arrives, you're just waiting for the next dose of inspiration. James 1 verse 22 says, "Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves." Do what it says. You're not growing because you're not applying. You're collecting sermons like souvenirs instead of deploying them like weapons. Here's the shift. Before you leave on Sunday, pick one thing, just one, not 5 applications. One, and commit to doing it this week. The pastor talked about forgiveness. Text the person you need to forgive before you get in your car. The message was on generosity. Give something away Monday morning. The sermon challenged prayer. Set an alarm and pray at noon every day this week. Then next Sunday when you show up, you're not the same person who left last week. You're someone who obeyed. And obedience is what transforms church from information to formation. So here's the truth. Your church doesn't need to change. You do. Stop arriving late. Stop sitting with the same people. Stop waiting to be asked. Stop going alone. Stop forgetting by Monday. These 5 shifts sound small, but they're the difference between attending church and being the church. One is a routine. The other is a mission. Drop the word engaged in the comments if you're committing to these shifts, because your church is waiting for you to wake up, not as a consumer, as a contributor, and the moment you do, everything changes.